Oh, yeah, she doesn't.
What do you feel like?
Try it. Say something.
It's like a... it's, you know what it's like?
No. No. You must tell me in here what it's like. Okay.
It's like being... I can't talk like that. It's like you're...
No. Tell me in here. What? Come on.
It's like being in a spaceship.
I want to write something about the movie. Is there some common thing about you other than your age?
I think between us we got a fair cross-section.
But it's not really an accurate cross-section.
No, but it's a cross-section. It's all we can do.
Then you get into fantastic subtitles because a lot of people might call us all one section when in fact that even in a smaller section there's smaller sections, and in smaller sections there's even smaller sections.
In the film medium,
Two.
yeah, right. 2 columns, one visual and one audio.
Well, what scenes have you just generally mapped out?
Well, like, the movie will be...
Isn't that beautiful?
It's fantastic. I'm just wondering what type of film it would be, whether it be all hippie, or whether this is to do with teenagers. If it's to do with teenagers, I know that it isn't teenagers, all teenagers aren't hippies.
Yeah. Well, you're not, and you're here.
Yes, and that's what I'm wondering.
The kids are deciding what the film's going to be, is that right?
It's pretty difficult to argue with 30 kids.
So, oh, what a freak show. Christophers! Is anyone... Oh, it's me. I'm getting 2 notes. Take 3. Here we go. Okay, let's do it. Matinee.
Christopher's movie matinee.
You're it!
We're going on a holiday, heading somewhere far away. I don't like the cold anyway, just want a little warmth every day and night. If it's alright, the rain is falling, the month is June. I'm so jive, I can't resist a spoon of pure sugar to sweeten the moon. Come, let's make our getaway. We can't last another day. Survival is the only way. We're going on a holiday. Find a way. We'll leave today.
I think you'd be wise to get a permit from Mr. Thompson.
What do we need the permit for, though?
You need a permit to take pictures in the park here if they're to be used for other than private purposes.
Is there any place you can take pictures?
Yes. Pardon?
Yeah, is there any place you can take pictures, or is that all open?
If you want to come in as a family and take your picture, that's perfectly okay.
We're a family. We're a family.
Yeah. But if you want to come in and take pictures for the National Film Board or for a commercial for television or something like that, I would think that you'd be wise to get a permit from P.W. Thompson, the Commissioner of Metro Parks Department.
How long does it take to get a permit?
Well, I don't know. He's down on the 10th floor, East Tower, City Hall.
Bye. Be sure to bring your mandolin. We've got to keep our handle in the pot, which after all is hot. See the box we're finally in.
No, we're just a group of kids, but we've got some cameramen from the National Film Board with us.
With laughing freaks who live to grin.
May I please ask for a permit to be made out to a group of kids who are doing a film in the ATM Brûlé Park?
If you think this means we can win.
Hello?
What is this?
Baby, here's where we came in. Goodbye, goodbye, I'm away. Movie, matinee, for today.
We have to get a permit, don't we?
She just wanted somebody to come down and sign it.
Just one person or a whole bunch?
She said one person. I said we'd all go.
Let's all go. It's more fun here.
Down to the 10th floor of the west building in the city hall. And she gave me a list of rules, and she said that I was supposed to phone this other division, but she said she'd do it for me.
Malcolm's shooting.
Malcolm, you got
Why
your
isn't this our
license
film,
as a
Mort?
photographer?
Whatever you turned on, you better turn it off fast.
Get a shot of Malcolm
Look
shooting.
at our film.
It's a mallard.
Why isn't it our film, Mort?
Because it's running out.
Next week gonna be spontaneous? Some guy's gonna have a little script and he knows what he's gonna say.
No script, but well,
So it's gonna be
somebody,
spontaneous then.
yeah, well, some guy would just say this is roughly what we want to say and say it. Because we got to have some idea of what we want to do if we're shooting an actual scene. Like there's going to be a scene with this guy, like a mock of an army sergeant, and we'll just tell him roughly what we want him to say.
But you have to really know what he's going to say.
Yeah. You should think it over in his head first so he doesn't get all mixed up.
I can't afford that footage.
Malcolm will pay for it. Don't worry about
We
it.
have a friend of the friendly men in blue here.
All right. It's supposed to be part of his duty.
Really?
Yeah.
Punching bag.
No, you're wrong.
no.
Yeah, I know, but you can get nailed for police brutality even if he hits you first.
You can have
What
a
do you mean,
stick on
police
hit him over the
brutality?
head. Though.
No, honestly, there's been
When was the
cases-
last time
there's
somebody
been
was
cases-
nailed for police brutality? Give me an example.
Who's going to nail them?
Yeah. The police?
No, it's just...
Anybody see Wojak the other night?
Just
5 minutes ago, before I come down here, I stopped the car. There's two fellas in this car. Fit the description to a T for armed robbery yesterday. Now, if I just let them go, fear of police brutality, what would that make me?
Talking about...
I mean,
yeah, but I mean, a cane is...
That's
It
fine.
is just a nickname.
So the judge would have to interpret it.
Can we fill one
We
of those
rest
out
our
for you?
case.
Yes, can we do one? We've only got one left anyway.
Make about 15 out here.
I think we're worrying about what's the purpose of the film. What's the nature of it? So far, for the past week, we haven't
Well, if that's what
had
we're
any...
going to worry about...
Now, what if I told you that I thought the shot was stupid? Should I go ahead and shoot it anyway? Because then I'm putting my professional reputation on the line as a cameraman.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what you think of it before you... What you
Well,
think
like,
of the
I
whole
think that
situation. And we'll,
It shouldn't be
look
just
into
up to
your
any one person
argument.
to go up to you and say, I think you ought to shoot this because it's what I'm thinking and I like it. You know, if it's a group effort, then everybody ought to say whether they think it's a good idea or not.
We've been faced with all different policies. Like you say, all right, if you don't like this, go ahead and say so, all right? So Roger and I decided to film you getting mad at us, only we were going to film you filming us getting mad at you, okay?
Yeah.
So we do this, and it kind of flops off in the first stage, and then you come up and say we can't afford that. And yet you encouraged that sort of thing in the first place.
Yeah, but
Now, what's the point, you see?
Well,
We're faced with all this different policy here. If you want a film organized, we're vastly capable of organizing it. We're capable of choosing the right sets. We can get you don't have you just sit back in your fannies and earn. And we'll arrange the whole movie. We'll tell you, bring the camera here, and you can direct it from there on, and we'll have the whole movie ready for you.
Well, couldn't you ask...
And then you can edit it and do anything to you after that. But I mean, tell us what you want, for Pete's sake.
Couldn't you ask Martin to show me getting mad at you?
I did.
Which you probably did anyway.
Sure he did.
No, but you didn't. Instead, you took the camera. Do you want to see the film that you shot?
I
What happens
mind.
if it doesn't come out? Will you have me getting mad at you?
No, Martin will. Martin will.
Well, I didn't object to Martin shooting me getting angry, did I?
No.
I objected to you shooting off a roll of film.
It wasn't a full roll when we got it.
Yeah.
No, but I didn't stop him right away either.
Yeah, but
but you didn't know right away either, did you?
Conflict.
No, well, the point, the point is we're not really giving you the camera, we're giving you the crew. Like, I don't object to it.
All right,
I think
so
that was
say
fine.
that.
I think
But
that
you
was
haven't said that before. You see,
Oh, yeah,
now
I-
you've said it. All right,
I
that's
said it-
fine.
No, I said it right at the very beginning, that what we would do is work out the filmic expression with you of what we were shooting. When we talked about limits of control.
But we haven't really, you've said some, but, I mean, just make it clear. Stand up now and say this is the way it's going to be, and we'll do it for you.
Well...
But I can't stand this way. It's just messing around right now. I mean, it's fine for a few days, all right. We've got lots of pretty little cut shots, and everything will look fine. It'll look also spontaneous, and everybody will think, what a marvelous little film. But let's get down to business.
Right out of sight, most every night. No, we are not afraid to fly. We know to live is to die. Funny how.
Oh, well, after all, they're only young.
Some people
They're only young.
just can't grow old.
They'll get over it.
Angel of death in my dreams.
The congestion is there only because people feel there's something freakish to look at.
Lady Strange, we change today.
They feel that there shouldn't be any wars, or everybody should be peaceful.
It's not the way
That's almost impossible.
it was to be in your dream.
They have carbon monoxide and everything. It's making them all sick.
Funny how some people just
That could lead to a very dangerous situation.
can't grow. Close our street! Close our street! Close our street! Close our street!
Well, we've certainly had a lot of concern over what is going on at Yorkville. And I took it upon myself to talk to these people called hippies. Now, they're not all bad. Not all kids are bad. But sometimes you get a cancer area there, and we're trying to ferret that out.
If they at least wash their hair, they can wear it long if they want to.
And eating flowers and that sort of thing. But I just can't see it, that's all.
I have learned one thing in life for sure.
When you're on the hot seat, Jack, what do you have to say for yourself?
Why are you here?
What do you have to say for yourself?
You'll never go to the top unless you have personal discipline.
It could be that Defoe has thought it was later on, but the records all indicate it was clearly given to him.
Because he assured me he'd be here 5 minutes to 2.
It's suggested by some of the group that they are on their way.
If I were their age, I would probably be a hippie myself.
Mr. Defoe there, please.
Mr. Defoe?
Well, they seem to be a bit way out, my way of thinking.
Is Mr. Defoe with you?
Somebody would like to come up here. Mr. Defoe's group.
We find out
We'll just turn
if we
it
can
around.
find out who Mr. Defoe's group is, sir. We're not
Well,
getting
I
any
think
answers.
that this group that marched in...
Is Mr. Defoe with you?
But if we stop some of this, and this meeting today will do it, I am sure. we'll get these fellows on the right track and try and help them, or maybe we'll have to have another one to get to it. But we get the right questions and the right answers, we'll accomplish them. And those parents, there's no doubt about it, if a lot of this is stopped, those children will head for home.
Do they go to work at all, these people?
Those people, two alongside of each other. We'll get some more in here. Now, go ahead. Two of you sit in there.
You got something prepared?
And two, some more of you come in.
We have a few people who want to talk. Yeah, all right. You want to get them up here? If you want to stand up here, we'll call it next.
Well, I think they're just another little bit of human nature.
I wonder sometimes what happened to the girls that used to like the boys that got their hair cut and wore aftershave lotion and stuff like this.
What? Huh? Sure.
We were queer in many ways, but not as far out as they are.
I don't see that they have to have bare feet and beards to get their point across.
They dress and act, and their hygiene is different than it ever was, to my knowledge, in history, that I can find, or to my knowledge and fact in this city, who was born here, have I ever seen it displayed in this way. Please. You, Mr. DePaul?
Yes.
Good, thank you very much. Oh, well, it's very, very nice of you, and thank you very much, sweetheart. Here, can I give you a kiss? Picture. This is one of the nicest bouquets I ever had in my life. When it comes from the heart, that's the important thing. Remember, you'll never go to the top unless you remember you got to start at the bottom, and you got to remember the fellow just at the top of you is your boss, and the next step up, you got to have a boss, and if you can learn to take it, you can learn to dish it out. So, whoever's first, Mr. Poe, would you like to say something first?
Yeah. I'd just like to say that I'd like the thing to be as informal as possible.
It will be.
I didn't realize that we were going to have quite such a formal occasion as this, but I guess if maybe you can start off by asking some questions. Would you like to do that?
Yes, I will. Number one, will you tell me perhaps the most difficult one? As you know, we all in this administration, on behalf of the mayor and the board, are most in favor of the very wonderful place Yorkville. Yorkville is a cosmopolitan area, and certainly we need more of them in this city. We will do all we can to keep them healthy, but the problem we have is teenagers have been accused of being disorderly. As you know, there's a long list of police convictions and lost people. A disorderly group, perhaps not intended by you, has developed to a point of where uneasiness rests in that area. Now, will somebody tell me why?
That's a very good question.
I'm not too sure what you're really asking.
It seems there's a reason for. Are you working, may I ask?
No, I'm not.
Well, then perhaps we'll hit that, and nobody's condemning you for it. Perhaps we'll say, well, then why do you wish not to work? We're trying to find out what can we do for this? What is it? Do you want more recreation? Do you want some type of employment, some type of schooling, something to give you aims or objects? Would you please tell us that answer?
I don't think it's a question of just supplying facilities. Certainly, for the most part, these kids drop out of jobs because they don't like the way that people are exploited by industry. If they drop out of school because they don't like the way the school is operating. Practically all of the academic work in primary schools could be given in 4 years. That leaves people to wonder just what it is that they're spending the rest of the time teaching people. A form of indoctrination, probably. Teaching kids how to sit in school with their hands properly folded on the desk, to walk in single files down halls.
The statistics show that there are more people today employed as a result of that system than ever before in our history.
Perhaps there is another element which should be considered. The personal pride and dignity people have and their ability to be happy or satisfied with the job.
but you refer to the word dignity. Now, that's a very good word. A number of them there haven't been washed for weeks. Now, they aren't seeking dignity, are they? I say,
All right,
why
then
do
what?
they wish to live and be happy not to work? Because the greatest happiness is derived from working, that I've found. I think most of the people who have to work like I do, I'm interested in those who say, I'm interested in those that say no. Well, now, please tell us your psychology, because it's got me buffaloed, and I'm sure it'll have many buffaloed when it's printed that you...
It's very nice to say the greatest happiness derives from working, when it seems to be an indication that our society is striving for more leisure time. Looks like they're trying harder not to have any happiness.
Well, that's a point, and I think you're quite right sometimes, and that's why there's so many things of amusement required to keep the people busy in their spare time. But how are you going to live without earning a living? One can't live off the other.
Don't you think we're working at the moment by coming down here to talk to you? I mean, we're doing exactly what you're doing. You're talking to us, and we're talking to you. Only we're not getting paid for it.
A sense of humor like you have.
It's not funny. You hold a position probably to affect some sort of change, to help people. That's why you're working
I have,
for City
yes,
Hall.
in abundance.
All right, I think that's what a lot of the people here are doing. They're trying to help people. They're trying to affect some sort of change.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at. I know you are. You've explained that. But tell us the change that you want to have occur in society. We haven't got that yet.
We want people
You know what
to
you're
be
doing,
people
what
themselves.
you like in a home. But please tell us what the change is that you think this city could help you with in the federal units or provincial units to bring about this.
It's not the city itself that can help us. It's the people
we're in a
in the
position to be
city.
able to speak for you, probably, if there are some things that we can do.
Practice leaving us alone.
Unfortunately, society doesn't work that way, just
Well, then
exactly the way you like it.
That's why we drop out.
True. I'm not
Society doesn't work that
Of
way.
course you are, but democracy has its laid down and rules that we don't know. It means that the majority will always be in the authority.
Mr. Lambert, could you be very specific and honest and outline what you would like, ideally, Yorkville to become?
Well, I like Yorkville to grow as a shopping center of unusual nature as it is, a place for artists to display their art. The coffee shops I like to see. I don't like to see them when they're in an area that they're going to disturb if they're too close to the housing districts. That wouldn't be reasonable. Just a minute.
But you haven't outlined, you haven't gone over the problems you have outlined for us and said what you want to be done about these problems, how you would ideally like to deal with these problems.
Well,
And I really don't see how leaving
we've been
Yorkville
taking
as a
them
shopping
down.
center.
We'll have to discuss this at the board. This is exploratory, and I'm just as interested as you are in hearing these answers to try.
I just wanted to know specifically what you wanted Yorkville to become. Now I know. Thank you.
Yes.
You know, contributing by furthering their mental powers or something like this. And that isn't this a relevant means of contributing to the society?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
And like I didn't, the spiritual one.
Is the secretary there? Tell me one of them.
Because like the
We'll
spirit.
put that down for a study too.
The spiritual is so often ignored. and
Will
it
you
wasn't-
take this up with Mr. Defoe?
Okay, yeah.
Will you? And tell him that I agree with you 100%.
See, Mr. Mill, I was in Ottawa for 3 weeks before coming into Toronto. I arrived last night. Well, what I found out in Ottawa...
Wait, this gentleman, go down with you to the cafeteria. Somebody show him how he's still doing it.
Well, that's... See, that's what I was saying.
So, I mean, you take a tough stand on the thing, but the thing is that those kids went into a meeting,
Oh, those
and they
kids.
spent...
All of a
just
sudden they're
minute.
kids.
Just a minute.
They're not kids.
All right, those young people, those
Come
young
on.
adults, they went into a meeting, and they spent...
Those young adults. Headed
they
by
spent
who?
a-
Mr.
Just a
Depot,
minute.
eh?
Look, they spent a long time. They spent about 4 hours talking to Lamport, and all he did was laugh at them. They just refused to take the kids seriously. But what sense is that? What would any minority, what do the Negroes in the States do when people refuse to take their ills seriously?
You want to talk about the Negroes in the States, you want to talk about the boys up here?
They're both the same thing. They're all
No.
reactionary movements.
I believe
They're all
that,
reacting against the same thing.
Oh, come
They're reacting
on,
for different
be
reasons.
your age, eh?
They're reacting for different
Be
reasons.
your age, Mac, hey?
I am my age.
Come on. You comparing yourself to the Negroes in the States already?
We're all reacting
You ever been
against
down there
something.
and seen them? You ever been down and see how the Negroes live in the southern
Yes,
states?
I have.
You? And you compare yourself to them?
I compare myself in that we're both reacting against something.
Holy mackerel, Andy. You're reacting against what?
Against your kind of world.
Against my kind of world, eh?
Yeah.
Well, what I would say to you is this, and a friend of mine across there, we were discussing this earlier. You know what I'd like to see?
What?
I'd like to see the world turn back, 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be standing in the gates of my barracks, of my regiment. And I'd like to see all of you march in there. And you know what? I'd change your mind in 1 week.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would, buddy.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, boy.
What could you prove?
Huh?
What could you prove?
Nothing, but I'd tell you what I'd do. When
The
I
world-
said march, you would march. And you
Well, so
wouldn't
what?
have your lucks anymore.
Well, so what?
That's for sure, boy.
So what? What are you going to prove?
Nothing.
What on earth are you going to prove?
Well, all of a sudden
The
you
world-
turn around and
the
say,
world has had-
I'm not a moon man anymore, I'm a human being. That's what you say, buddy
I
boy.
say I'm a human being right now.
Well, we got an argument there.
What on earth are you going to prove by making me do something at the jump of somebody else's will?
Well,
Look, the world has had thousands of years of soldiers, thousands of years of people jumping up when the order was shouted.
Yeah.
Isn't it about time that everybody
you
starts
don't
thinking
only
of
jump
themselves?
up because the order's shouted, eh? All of a sudden, you're something. And you know what you are? Eh? You're a man. And you ain't never gonna be a man while you're doing this. Honest to God. You're gonna reject everything, but you will never be a man. You can live to 90 and you'll never be it.
What's a man?
When you achieve manhood, you'll find out, buddy. I can't tell you. Okay? I'll tell you one thing. You won't be a man with pansies in your hair. You know, huh? Making like a daisy chain and all this jazz, huh? No, sir. You won't be a man like making like a bully either.
Well, isn't that what you're being when
No.
you march us into the barracks? Are you doing us a favor then?
No. You apply a constitution and respect it. In other words, you conform.
Well, what's the good of that? The world has had thousands of years of conforming.
And it's been doing pretty
It
darn
hasn't.
good.
It's been having some pretty hellish wars.
But we done pretty good since the last one already.
And we're going to have another one already.
If we have another one, buddy, and you're in the army, I'm gonna go over the other side. Don't ever tell me. Jesus Christ.
A triple turn.
Come on. We can have another war. Who's gonna fight us? What do we got?
What are we going to fight about?
Got the Navy. This is it.
What are we going to fight about? It's only because you push people into barracks and make them jump at the sound of somebody's order that we have wars. What's there to fight about?
But you said we were going to fight. I didn't say we were going to fight.
I said you were
we're
going to
doing
fight.
all
I'm not
right.
going to fight.
I
don't
said
wanna
we settled
fight.
it last
It's
time.
your
Locked
world.
it all
You're still
up.
in charge.
My world.
Yeah.
Where did you go? The moon?
I'm here.
So you stay here, and it's your world too.
No.
And as soon as you face up to the fact that when I'm an old man staggering around in a wheelchair, buddy, you got to look after me, because I've been looking after you all your young life.
I didn't ask you
Now
to.
start contributing. I didn't ask you to. I didn't ask to be born. Come on, grow up.
That
You
is
know,
not
make
growing
like
up.
a human being.
You're not facing the question.
Oh, I'm facing the question.
I didn't ask to be born.
Oh, no, you didn't. And I feel sure that your mother and father also asked this question. Why? Huh? You ever said that to me and I was your dad? Oh, man, we would get together.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah. We'd have a father and son chat. And that is for sure.
Take 100, roll 37. A centennial special.
Mort.
Yeah.
Remember this man? Remember at the city hall the other day?
Oh, that's right, yes.
He just tried the earphones.
Yeah, great.
You're gonna be in the movie.
Tom, Kathy.
Okay.
Kathy!
Tom, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Tom! What we're doing, we're doing the scene in which you turn the camera on, you know? So everybody has to look for beautiful images on this street for Richard and Martin at times to photograph, okay? So look for things. You remember we started doing it the other day. Yeah. See what things you can find. Everyone, any suggestions are welcome as to what we can shoot on the street.
Sorry. Don't forget the binder.
Oh, stop.
Oh, it's tremendous.
What do you got?
What have I got? You got the level of it.
How about these flowers? Oh,
No, they're not very colorful. No. There's a lot of little flowers back there that are rather beautiful, you know, in a way, because they're just inconspicuous. Just sort of sitting there minding their own business. Why don't you fill some of those?
The flowers are obvious. What you said you wanted earlier was to try and get things that look drab at first glance.
Well, that looks drab. Look at the scene. It's cold wall and dirty white paint. And yet in this green and a little bit of beauty there.
I mean, it'll be a sensational thing if you can turn this on. This is drab.
I mean, except for that thing.
Got a pop-up.
I mean, this is really drab.
Yeah, look at that tree.
Look at that lens.
Is this a real zoom-in thing?
No.
The shot is feasible.
Okay. So should it be done, is it?
Should it be done is not my business. I just say it's feasible.
Yeah, but is it feasible with good quality or bad quality, cinematically speaking? You know.
Well, that depends on your standards of quality.
Well, we have a good cameraman, okay? So
no, it's not. It's not a matter of good and bad. No,
there.
It's not good or bad. It's a matter of being a certain shot for a certain type of film.
Yeah.
Like what I'm going to have to do. You want me to go all through these different things here, right?
Yeah.
A, it'll be handheld, so it'll be shaky, okay? It won't be on a tripod. Now, you can't say whether that's good or bad because good or bad depends on the situation, you know?
It's got to be the feeling of this big space out here.
Yeah.
So you got to get rid of this thing.
You go from.
You're right up to the Bay Street sign, even at the shortest magnification. So that's no good.
You go from space to a very, very small detail shots.
Okay, we need lenses for the camera, Richard. Turn off that stupid camera and get me some lenses.
We need other lenses. I'm in charge now, okay? Mort is no longer director. I'm in charge as far as the sequence goes.
When did this happen?
Mort just said so a minute ago. All right? I'm directing this sequence, right?
Nobody said you're directing.
You said I could tell him what to do and he would do it. You said I could tell him what to do and he would do it, didn't you?
No, I said you could advise him what to do. And
you said go and get your point and make sure about it.
Yeah, make sure you get your point across.
Sure.
Well, make sure you get your point across. Tell him.
Well, come on, Martin. We got to shoot. We got to
tell
shoot
him
this
what
thing.
you want. It doesn't matter whether he does it right now.
Okay, well, turn around, okay? You know, we've got to have the shot of the street.
Shot of the street, right?
Yeah. Get a feeling of space.
Feeling of space. Okay, I zoom back. I got it. Now what?
Okay, now we want to get a zoom shot which connects this space with the space of the sign back here.
A zoom shot which connects that space with the space of the here. Hold my glasses. Okay.
Yeah.
Space of the street. And this sign here. Okay. Fair weather. The
Doreen,
fashion store.
Stand up on the sign, okay?
Now what?
Like we're gonna shoot you up there. Ken? Can you move, okay? Okay, now get a shot.
Without concentrating on the sign.
Now get a shot of Doreen leaning through the bars there.
Doreen leaning through the bars. Tight or loose?
Whatever you think's better. I think fairly middle. Just a fairly general scene. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Now we're gonna move behind the bars.
We're gonna move behind the bars.
Yeah, get in the dark space there.
Now you go first and show me, and I'll follow. What?
Now we want a shot from about here over to this tree trunk. Just get the nice little area in here, this little grove, and pan up to there to get a feeling of the sunlight and the leaves up high.
Sunlight and leaves up high, okay. This is true. I'm going to have to pull aperture on this, so it may not be an absolutely technically perfect shot. I'm also going to have to take the shoulder base camera off my shoulder. Somebody's just standing right in the frame there. Now what?
Okay, now we want to move back and get a feeling of the outer space through these bars.
Outer space through these bars.
I'm working the kids too.
Working the kids too.
Get the buses and the traffic back there.
Buses and traffic. Who am I hitting?
And we want some street noise too.
And street noise. Get street noise.
Unless you want to return to the little grove and emphasize the idea that, you know, there's some beauty here behind the street and the contrast between the city space and the space down here.
On the street, no. You better get on this later.
Okay, so this late.
Take 106, roll 38.
There's a shot here.
Did you get your shot?
Yeah. Except if you want to finish it off with another shot of the greenery.
Another shot. I did one already.
Okay, fine. If you think that's enough.
If I think it's enough for what?
Well, you know, I just want to emphasize the fact that what's behind there is totally different, yet it's very close.
You want to do a pan shot then from the streets into here?
Yeah.
Pan shot. Okay,
To
clear the way,
re-emphasize.
everybody. Watch out. Pan shot coming up. That's one stop underexposed in here. If you want it technically perfect, we'll have to get lights.
Okay, that's enough.
You want to get it technically perfect with lights?
No.
No? Okay. You got what you want, Mort?
What I want.
That's the craziest shot I've ever done in my life.
Why? Well, why did you tell him it's a crazy shot instead of doing it? If you don't believe it's something, don't do it.
Crazy is not necessarily bad.
Honestly.
It's fun. I finally got out of my confusion by doing the very confused shot.
I'm sorry, I don't speak about anything that I don't know anything about. And Vietnam War, I don't know anything about it.
It's been going on for a whole year. For more than
Well, if it's been going on for years, I don't know how you know so much about it.
I'm not pretending to know a terrible amount about it. I do feel involved in things I read in the newspaper about it. Some of the reports I've read about the casualties. I guess we've all seen some of those horrible pictures. And you spoke of your group, the Eastern Star, is doing a great deal of good work. And I thought this is another area where you could do a lot of good work and help people that are really in desperate need, people that are crippled and burnt and torn by war every day. While we're sitting here and talking, it's happening. And you yourself said war was a terrible thing. Please tell me if you think I'm all off. I feel a very, very deep commitment, a deep involvement, and I want to understand how other people feel about it.
You have it on your head, especially when the light is red.
Are you angry at me?
Look, Tom.
Would
The point is, this all has to cut in with you walking down the street.
And these are
things.
my hand.
And these are things that you would see. Now, do you think you would see a ladybug or?
Yeah, they always fly on you.
Right?
If you
They
want
always
to turn
fly
on
on
the
you.
camera,
I always
see
play with
minute
ladybugs.
detail is one of the things that you would
Sure.
notice.
It seems logical
yeah.
to you. Would you find one on the street when you walk along?
Oh, a lot of the time they fly onto you, like you're just walking along, all of a sudden saw.
In the other shot, you'll have to pretend that one flies onto you, right?
Yeah.
In the long
and
shot.
then I'll just look at it.
Okay.
And then like I'll have me looking on it, and then all of a sudden zoom.
Okay.
Like that can be the first shot. Like I'll be walking down the street, all of a sudden a ladybug will hit me, and then I'll look at it, and all of a sudden I'll see, and I'll get kind of enmeshed in just the ladybug. And another shot coming out, because when you come out, everything kind of spans right out. It's like coming from a different little world into a whole new one. It's like rebirth almost, just coming out of the
You better save the
alley.
ladybugs, you'll have it for the long shot.
Yeah,
Hang on to it.
Yeah, we've been hanging on to it for a long time. Well, we gotta have Pilar playing herself in the credits, because that's her name. Okay. Oh, I got a great idea for a fantasy. Like when I see the bug on my hand, I look at it, and then there's a picture of me leading about 50 ladybugs, and they're all reciting, "Thomas, my shepherd, I shall not want."
Take a look, quick.
Turn your hand
over.
away.
Turn your hand over.
Well, if you're not angry, if I haven't insulted you personally, or you just think I'm being...
I think you're speaking about something that you know nothing about when you speak of Vietnam.
Are you saying this because you feel you know more than me and I've made some dreadful
I
mistake?
don't know anything about Vietnam. That's why I won't say anything about Vietnam.
My curiosity is why haven't you bothered to learn more about it when this is a war and people are dying? And if you feel it's awful, then why haven't you bothered to learn more about it and learn how you could help in it, how you could learn to stop it, how you could help the people that are being so terribly hurt?
An individual like you and I can't help Vietnam. When the American people themselves, there's thousands of the mothers in the United States is trying to get this war stopped, and they can't. So why should we in Canada here try and do anything about it?
As Canadians, that produce a great many of the... Well, I just think that the more individuals that get together on this thing, the greater the movement against Vietnam. And you're not an individual, you belong to a group.
You're speaking about something that you know nothing about, the same as I. I know nothing about Vietnam. And you're only a child, so I don't see how you can know anything about Vietnam.
Switch now because we shot so much.
Somebody dropped the bug.
We lost the bug.
Don't let go of it. Oh, you
Because everything's on.
You lost the bug.
Is it? Yeah, don't let go. That's the first law.
Hey, maybe we can find it with this thing.
Don't step on it.
Bug.
Don't step on it.
Pilar. Pilar.
Do you think you could do your sequence without the bug?
Pilar. Yeah, we gotta find the bug though.
And then careful.
Then I could kind of think.
Careful, we can't shoot the scene without that bug.
Bugs are a necessary part of life.
You should feed it.
You can't even find it with this thing. This is hopeless.
You know what it does? It gets under a whole pile of grass, like it was doing that over there, but I always knew what area it was in before. The wind just blew it off, right?
I am too.
Okay.
Hey, what about this?
Well, that's what I hate about it. It's about the whole thing. You constantly have to be on the move, or you're dead. I mean, like, that's connected with Yorkville. People, they can't send people just sitting there doing nothing, Like freeways are the same thing. The whole America and Canada are geared towards moving places, and there's no place to go. Expressways are going through, knocking down buildings, I mean, it's becoming kind of a mobile culture, like this thing. This is drive-in restaurant, drive-in banks, drive-in drive-ins, to make out in. I mean, pretty soon people will be having babies in cars, getting buried in cars. We're gonna have floating cemeteries. with, you know, corpses constantly on the move. And so we're gonna get like that until finally just, you know, you're gonna be very lucky if you can sit still for a second. That's it.
That's terrific. Okay.
Close our street! 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 We love the man! We love the man! We love the man! We love the man!
You may question tomorrow's rain, but your questions will only bring pain.
Shadow of a life in my schemes.
Now, we've always had some rebellious youth. Nobody's against the fun and games of kids who want to have fun. But remember, they've got to cooperate with that is going to permit us to eat and sleep along with the decent people.
You still play with power, though short is your hour. Moving on since time began.
Some people just can't grow.
Do you believe in democracy? Let me put it this way.
I doubt.
Do you believe in democracy?
I haven't
Well-
answered that question for myself yet.
Well, what do you believe in? What system do you believe in?
The political system, I don't know. I don't believe in politics.
You don't believe in politics?
No. I might someday, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh, I don't believe in a lot of politicians, I agree with you there, but there must be some system. There must be laws. Is this
Well,
correct or not?
I even challenge that.
You challenge that. Inasmuch there should be police to uphold these laws or not?
Well, maybe we could find a way to live without police. Maybe it's possible.
Well, you gotta have a lot of love, buddy, to believe this.
That's what we talk about.
You
We
take
talk
all the
about love.
cops off the street of this city for 1 week, what do you think of that?
Haven't you heard about flower power?
Jesus Christ. I come from the flower town of Canada, you know, Brampton. And if ever you took that little police force off the streets in Brampton for 1 weekend, you know what'd happen to you? Hey? She wouldn't be a flower town no more, boy.
Well,
Huh?
why not fix the cause of that? I mean, what's the
What
cause
we
of all
gotta
that
do?
violence? Isn't the cause of all that violence the barracks that you created and people jumping up and down when they're told to?
You do come up with some real questions, boy. Silly ones, really. You're not
Well,
even
why is it
facing
silly?
fact.
What's the fact?
The fact is that we're human beings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't all love each other.
She got a juvenile next split next day.
Yeah, come on, let's get back to 2, 3, 4.
We're going on a holiday, going somewhere far away. I don't like the cold anyway. Need a little warmth every day and night. If it's alright, the rain is falling, the month is June. I'm so jive, I can't resist the spoon of your in the moon. Come, let's make our getaway. We can't last another day. Survival is the only way. Let's go for a holiday.
Be sure to bring your mandolin. We've got to keep our candle in the pot. After all is gone.
See the fox will finally end. Laughing freaks who live to grin. If you think this means we can win, baby, here's where we come in. Goodbye, Harry Redemption. 40 watts broadcasting
movie
from Penitentiary.
Matinee.
We had a sit-in on Yorkville last night. Several people got busted, including me. Last Thursday, we went down and we talked to the Border Control of this city of ours. And we told them a lot of things about who we are and what we wanted to see and what kind of a nice place we wanted to see this city turn into. And one thing we asked was, why don't you try closing down our street, you know? And they said, no, man, we can't do that. We said, why? And they didn't really know. And that's what the thing last night was all about.
Well, thank you. I was just wondering what the possibilities were getting a copy of that tape.
What tape?
Well, did you not have this all taped when they were taking the film and so on?
Oh, yes,
the show
shooting
was
it, sure,
on,
yes.
And, particularly the speeches by DePoe and that gal, I'd like to get a hold of.
Why would you want that?
Possible. I know, I'd like to hear it over again, that's all. And,
oh, but we can't do that. Do you think?
Yeah. Well,
do you think it would be fair taping somebody without their, knowing that it's going to get to you, or?
Well, this is possible. I just asked, that's all. If you don't want to.
No, but as I say, I don't think it's very fair. Do you, Inspector?
Well, I hadn't thought of it along those lines. It might be, and that they were talking. I mean, we have most of the. I have the stuff verbatim anyway, but it's just that I heard. But it's quite all right.
People talk a great deal about
the whole Big Brother thing, and I always tend to disbelieve it, and that's why it surprises me that you would want to take.
It was
that
just a
taken,
thought, that's all.
Since they didn't know that we'd be giving it to you.
This is true.
It'd be kind of unfair.
Oh, okay. I can see your point.
Yeah. What did you think of the?
Oh, it was an afternoon's entertainment for them. And,
did it give you any trouble of any kind, did it?
No problems to us. No, not at all. Same as the last one they had here. They had a much larger crowd the last time they were here. No problems with it.
Oh, I understood the police weren't very favorable towards this kind of a gathering.
I wouldn't say we weren't favorable towards it. We get a little apprehensive at times when we know what has happened in some places over these things. We just like to keep our finger on the pulse of things, you know. But,
I see.
We don't really get too concerned. We only had about 3 men here this afternoon. If we were that worried about it, we probably had more.
Oh, I thought I saw more police than that. Or were they from a different department? Or
No. In the park here, we had about 3, and myself and a patrol sergeant.
I see. How did you hear about it? Through the publicity, or?
No. Well, we did read about it in the newspaper, of course.
I see.
Publicized there, and of course, anytime there's a permit issued
Oh,
for this
yes.
kind of things, well, of course, we hear about it.
I see. Well, I hope you
Hello,
enjoyed.
how are you?
Very well, sir.
Your face looks familiar.
It shouldn't, unless you just saw it today. I'm from Illinois.
Oh, are you?
So I'm a long way out, away from home.
I was thinking of, his name's the Reverend, he has a radio program, and I'd seen his picture in the paper, and I thought possibly over he, but...
What did you think of the afternoon's proceedings?
I was here for about an hour and a half, and I talked with several of the persons who were involved, and I thought it was very interesting. I'm not in a position to make a judgment particularly, because it's my first contact with the whole movement this closely, with this big a number. There in the States, actually, it's limited to certain areas, and there is none around where I come from, which is St. Louis area.
I see.
No, my brother lives in St. Louis. I go down there periodically, visit him. Nothing on this line.
No,
even
not
down
really.
on Gas Lake Square, you might say, you might see the odd one.
A few,
long hair,
but
that's all.
Oh my!
They're scattered.
Crew's getting to.
There's no community
Yeah,
sense.
okay.
See you again.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Bye, sir.
Good to see
Nice
you.
meeting you.
Away we go, laughing, falling down the street. Should we be crying like all the people we meet? Bubble gums for chewing, and I'm chewing mine. I really love to chew gum. I do it all the time. Who are you? Who am I? And do you want to laugh or cry? It doesn't matter what you do. What's in our name? Rhinoceroses swimming in the pool. People want to throw them out, but I think they're Away we go, laughing, falling down the street. Should we be crying like all the people we meet? Who are you? Who am I? And do you want to laugh or cry? It doesn't matter what you do. What's in our name? We're gone.
Don't push. Don't push.
Be glad to.
I'm gonna sit in the front.
Who has personality?
What is personality?
I've had personality.
I'm right. Any ash right?
Schools don't come equipped with that. No.
You don't really.
Where's the teach?
Yeah.
They usually do most of the talking.
All
right, class.
Can we sit down?
Settle down.
Okay, you can teach you.
Can I be teacher?
Yeah, you be teacher, Tom. Put your hat on.
All right, listen up. Today we're beginning a whole new year. Today we're not going to do anything. We're just going to get to know each other. Well, tomorrow, young lady. There are certain rules and regulations which must be observed. I mean, I don't make the rules. Now, this year, some other years, you may have had difficulties with discipline. Now, I'm not a hard disciplinarian, but when I want to have something done, I expect to have it done. Now, you treat me like an adult, and I'll treat you like adults, which is completely untrue. Because you treat him like God, and he treats you like some kid.
Oh, I had a teacher who said the first day of school,
Classrooms are a drag.
Aren't they though?
That described it,
Have you
young
ever
man.
seen some of the signs they put in the back? Like learning is earning.
Well, let's get down to the facts. What we're talking about is isolated little cases like the saints on the back. What about discussing the educational system instead of just the...
That's the trouble, it's the system. You know. It is,
I
but
think
it's not
that before we
education.
start, I'd like to make a point. The teacher should have a better attitude. The whole thing should be more relaxed. I mean, we don't like it and they don't like it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like most kids have dropped out of school completely.
Here, you mean they're dropped out and they're still sitting in their desks?
I did that last year. Well,
So did I.
You have to do it. There's no way that you can be. No
way.
You people are still buggered up with the system, though. McLuhan was talking about, I think it was Socrates. And he spent all his time looking for the perfect school, and he didn't realize that he and his pupils were living right in it. They were living in Athens. And what greater city than to get an education than Athens? And the point is that the world is the best teacher, and that if kids want to learn, they should darn well go out and find themselves a teacher. They should go to the teacher. They shouldn't have to come to school. They shouldn't have to have any education, because kids are natural learners.
Of course, there's a lot of people that just fall right into it, and they really couldn't give a damn. And you know that. You know there's
That's what I was
half your
talking
class,
about.
3/4 of it.
Yeah.
Schools for
It's hard.
That's right.
It's harder without regimentation. That's for sure. And all these progressive systems, the kids say they want a progressive system, but it's much, much harder because they have to do the work themselves.
You heard of Summerhill? You know that school where the
Yeah.
kids all live?
Yeah.
And some of them are really frightened by the freedom they're given.
They don't know what to do with it now because they've never been prepared. The parents always say that we're preparing you for the world. But the thing is, it's such a circle, and that if they prepare us for the world as it is, how are we going to change it?
We are the world.
That's right. It's so fake because it's not the real world in here. It's some sort of...
It's a creative.
It's a gray tower, gray ivory tower.
So we can change it if only we're taught to realize our freedom, and they give us this crap about the great democratic society and the great freedom we have, when there is so little freedom because of the small dictatorships in business.
What's an education?
An education for me is not what I'm getting. An education is, not what I'm getting in a classroom, but I'm getting a tremendous education just by going to school and meeting all these people.
Why do we have to go to school at all?
You know, because our vice principal, he walks around the halls the first 3 days of school telling everybody to get a haircut.
Yeah.
And this guy's, he's earning $12,000 a year, and that's his job.
Like, the principal was having a talk with me, and I told him
he said, get your hair cut because you won't be accepted by society with long hair. And I said, well, the way society is now, I don't really want to be accepted by it. And he wouldn't let me go to class until my attitude changed. And that, to me, is the whole school system.
Like a lot of people, they begin thinking like that, and then they get all worried about the long hair, and the long hair becomes more important than learning.
That's right.
You know, that, I mean, sure, it's a ridiculous thing, but it's not nearly as important as learning.
Yeah, they're in a transition period where there's not enough discipline so that you're forced, you know. You have to respect them or get beat up. We should do something while we're in school, because, I mean, it'd be nice to have a change later, but I want to change now so I don't have to throw my years away, because it's kind of almost a survival thing. Yeah, I will. I'm going to run for president. I'm really going to try and start something. Honestly. I mean, I'm going to have things like general meetings of the whole, and not after school. I mean, during the school. So we miss half an hour of Latin class. So what? It's not going to influence our lives. A child at 3 or 4 is the greatest thing, because they're so beautiful. They want to know everything. They really do. And gradually, as they go through school, the pity is this gets dampened. If there's only some way to capture it and bottle it and give it to older people. You know, and they can. If you've ever seen a man with his little girl, you know, he suddenly becomes a little boy again. I think it may be in kindergarten, the way the regimentation starts. And the beautiful thing about kindergarten is the pictures they draw. Yeah. They're so great. They're abstract, and they're beautifully abstract. Their subconscious is still close to their conscious.
And all they can teach us is how to learn. All they can do is give us the study skills. They can't teach us anything about
Nobody
it.
can teach you how to learn.
But yes, they can teach us
Nobody
how to
can
research
teach you how to
work,
learn.
How to write essays.
Okay, because you've got to learn from them how to learn.
What do you mean?
That's true.
Everybody knows how to learn if they'll only listen to themselves, and then they can magnify that power, but nobody can teach you how to learn.
There's certain basic skills and certain knowledges they have to give
You can't learn how to learn.
They can give you...
Because you have to be taught that.
So what's the basic problem with the whole system, or is there one?
There's no basic problem. The basic problem is so entwined with people.
In our school, you know, you have to be out of the sight of the school to smoke, which means if you can see the school, then, you know, they can kick you out. And you have to keep walking until you can't see it anymore, before you smoke.
The big thing that's wrong with school, and the big thing that's wrong with this classroom right now is the fact that it's boring.
That's right.
That's it. The thing is, you see,
That's it.
if I'm left by myself, I'll either do something that stimulates me or something that I enjoy doing.
Get an answer.
And shut up. You know, school
Yes, you don't know.
Or is it do not stimulate me?
Give you the answer already.
Yeah, you talk about walking in the wrong door through the cafeteria. That is no problem.
It's boring. It's boring. I want to sit and scream in class because it's boring. It's probably going to be boring next year, and I hope it isn't, but it probably will.
Right.
You people are all crazy because you're looking for the best school and the best school in the world, and you're looking for the best exams, and the best exam is life.
I don't know, it'd be interesting to see though.
I like to have a teacher that wears a robe.
What is the problem with the system? You've been here for about 45 minutes talking about walking up the wrong flight of stairs.
I think he's got a
Yeah.
You're the one who's been
And then
doing
I ask
it.
a question and you say, yes, well, there's a problem. And then you talk about walking in the wrong door through the cafeteria.
We're all acting like hurt.
There is no problem.
There's no problem. What's the problem?
You people are creating a problem.
Well, Malcolm, if you're so annoyed at this, why do you go back to school?
And if I dropped out of school and went to work or became a hippie or something like that, I wouldn't be gaining anything. I still have just as much freedom as I have going to school, because we're all deluded that we have a certain amount of freedom which is denied, which is utter nonsense. Nobody's free. So all I'm gaining and all I'm trading is one little prison for another.
Learning? You've seen sons like that, haven't you?
Earning. Yes, class.
Time is money.
Time is money. Learning is earning. School is boring. That's it. That's all you have to know.
Omnia perscientium, that's what I always say.
Yes.
He told me to tell you you were sitting on the right chair the wrong way, so I just hammed it up from there on.
What's your school motto?
Larry, that's
Omnia perscientium.
Don Mill. Don Mill's Collegiate is the school we honor and cheer. Hey, 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 Don Mills. Sing out your allegiance for the whole Dominion to hear. On the upper skin, the up in the watchword morning and night. future look bright. Right! Hey, Don Mills! Hold by the banner of the white, the black, and the gold. Don Mills, dear old mountain where our hopes and dreams may unfold. Oh, when we shout it and brag about it, you know we'll never deny. We come from D-O-N-M-I-L-L-S, Don Mills,
And you know, that's an actual school song.
Oh, that's terrible.
Ours was written in about 1890, when all that sort of imperialistic crap was in its head.
My country, right or wrong.
Right or wrong, right. Okay, kids,
Okay, what now?
in the cars, we know.
No, we gotta clean the classroom. And really have
What?
Yeah, we have to clean it up.
So,
Huh?
Your humorous is really...
The blackboard.
leave the blackboard, please. Good night.
Worry, worry, what a drag. Makes me twitch, it makes me shoulders sag. Worry, worry, I'm all through listening to the likes of you. I've been working every day on my nervous twitching way. Worry, worry, I'm all through listening to the likes of you. Now I'm working on other ways, and worry doesn't mar my days. Just concentrate on being you. It'll drive you crazy, but you won't be blue. I met a strange man downtown, and he said things that really brought me round. He called us silly mad machines to worry and fret and live in dreams. Now I'm working on other ways. Worry doesn't mar my days. Just concentrate on being you. It'll drive you crazy, but you won't be blue. Worry, worry, what a drag. Makes me twitch, it makes me shoulders sag. Worry, worry, it's all I do about what's happening to me and you.
Because, especially that time which you all know of, the time when we were at that old deserted building, when he was rolling, and you broke in on something very personal, and that upset me. You broke in on something very personal, and that upset me. Because I was trying to get away from all the terrible things you were doing, because I thought they were terrible. All those planned sequences of us. We ran out of the car. We arrived about 14 times, you know. And you don't really do that when you're going to play in a deserted building. You just come. And so I ran into the corner, and Martin came with his little camera, and I turned around, and there he was.
You were angry at Martin?
Not so much angry at Martin as angry at the, not you, well, you too, but the idea of the camera taking something so personal. Which I meant to ask you yesterday. Did you turn the camera? Were you filming when I was with Larry?
Ask Martin.
Martin, were you?
Yes, dear, what?
Were you filming when Larry and I were over on the, standing over on the,
Yes, I was.
like that? I'd object to that, although I wouldn't say you couldn't use it if you wanted to. But that was something terribly personal to me.
No, Martin.
Martin, that was something terribly personal.
when you were filming that?
It's only the personal things that are worth filming, really.
Yeah, well.
Because they have, you know, they convey
A meaning to other human beings that a non-personal thing doesn't.
Yeah, I see that. I suppose it all depends on how you use it. But I think the film's going to turn out more. I think the film's going to be beautiful. I really do.
Why did you change your mind?
I don't know what it was. Because when you get to know the people, the kids, how we all got together and we're all so different and yet we all tolerate each other and we all listen to each other, and I think there's something important in that. And I think the film should show that because it's true. I was talking to Art about it, how the two things we have in common are that we tolerate each other and that we're all kind of searching for something. And I think that's what...
Martin, could you tighten in so the jaw can get closer, please? Yes, that's very tight. Okay. Move in closer. I want to make sure that we hear everything.
And I can't wait to see it because it's like a dream, this whole thing, what we're trying to show it, and it's so beautiful, and I hope that everybody sees that. It makes me so happy. I've never felt so happy as with you, all of you people. It's great. Now I think you're going to make me cry again.
Oh no! Oh no! No, you don't have to do that now. Hey, why are you crying if you're happy? Doreen, why are you crying if you're happy?
I always cry when I'm happy, I guess. I'm very crying today. I cried today too.
Let's go back.
There have been hippie marches and hippie sit-ins since early Sunday morning. More than 60 people have been arrested, and the hippie protest continues. Police are now investigating the possibility of a link between the hippie activity and the presence of a National Film Board company in this area. Earlier this week, a course of instruction on how to resist arrest and go limp to be dragged away by police was conducted by the hippies in the city park. One of the instructors, Allison Gordon, later appeared as a member of a National Film Board crew at City Hall Square during what was termed a sleep-in. The National Film Board has denied any connection with Miss Gordon except that she had been retained to act as a liaison between the hippies and the film crew. On Sunday, the Film Board had been issued a city park's permit to stage what they termed a film-in for a sequence on a Toronto area production. By an unfortunate coincidence, an NFB spokesman said it became part of the hippie outbreak. Bill Copps, CBC News.
You're recording. Well, in a way, we were sort of responsible for that, you know. I mean, people change when they get a camera in front of them.
Isn't this funny? They called the band on Sunday a bunch of hippies.
Yeah, I know. They even paid for the hippie band.
That is funny.
What if your mother sees
I didn't know I was a hippie.
What if your mother sees that? What will she do?
Oh, wow.
Playing with a bunch of hippies, are you?
This was last night.
Look at that. Look at this. You get the headline, boy. Show this to everybody. Look at the top.
That was the early edition.
Oh, that's too much.
Read it, killer. Yeah, read it out loud.
Okay.
The National Film Board admitted yesterday that it maneuvered some of the events which have occurred among Yorkville's hippies in recent days. A spokesman said the board obtained a permit from the Metro's Park Department on Friday to hold the Noisy Love-In, also known as a film-in, which greeted David DePoe and 5 other hippies when they were released from Don Jail last Sunday. He also admitted that it paid for the hippie band and rental of sound equipment. Hippie band. The spokesman also said that the crews of the board had moved hippies around to several locations in Metro to portray youth today. That means we're hippies. The board gave a mixed answer to a charge that Allison Gordon, 24, was an employee of the board. Miss Gordon instructed hippies Tuesday afternoon in Queen's Park in passive resistance to police. That afternoon, another instructor of the hippies described police as mad dogs, violent, and loving to stamp on people's hands. Leo Waschuk, location business manager of the board, said that Miss Gordon was not an employee, but a representative of the board in its Montreal office said in a telephone conversation that she was, and that she was living in Toronto. Matt Ransen, that's...
Matt Ransen.
Yeah, Matt Ransen, that's Mort Ransen, director of the film, said that technically she has not been working for the board. He said that the board had arranged a film-in for Sunday afternoon as part of a film, yet untitled, which would show youth today. The film was to be shown on television and later distributed to schools.
I was shocked to learn about the whole incident. I think it's disgraceful that an organization like the Film Board could be involved with such people.
Quite so, sir. What do you think of the National Film Board?
Well, my opinion has been lowered greatly by the incidents of the past days.
I agree.
I'm indeed shocked that they'd be associated with such low members of our system.
Exactly. I think the National Film Board is completely to blame for this terrible incident. Sir, do you have anything to say upon this?
Not really, except that the National Film Board has gotten caught in the unusual predicament of being blamed for the news that it's reporting.
Of course.
This rarely happens with media, and it's odd that it should happen with this film, and significant that it should happen with this film, which is a film of social protest. That's all I have to say.
That is all?
That's
Thank
all.
you, sir. Would you say that the NFB is to blame for this?
Of course not. No.
Cut that comment.
Can't you see?
We're moving through the crowd, and as we come upon our next... Sir, do you have any comment upon the Yorkville riots?
No, I think it's been misreported.
He thinks it's been... What do you think of the National Film Board?
Well, of course, it's a great institution.
Really?
Oh, definitely.
Would your opinion be biased at all?
Be what?
Biased. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
Prejudice. Do you have a prejudiced opinion upon the National Film Board?
Oh, never.
Never. Never.
Come on over. Branded obscene.
Well, you've all heard about it, obviously. We're filming the final scene in the film right now. This is
disillusionment.
The departure of the film crew.
You're kidding.
We've all been ordered back to Montreal. The film board hierarchy has reacted in a panicky way and ordered us to go back. And so we're leaving. None of us on the crew agree with the decision. We've all told them that we disagree with it.
Maybe this is a good thing, really.
Why?
I mean, it shows what we're up against, doesn't it? We're up against the whole bit. We're up against the papers prefabricating stories and lying outright. We're up against administrations believing outright lies.
Mort, come home. You've had enough fun playing movie director.
Yeah, that's it. I've had enough fun. I've had a lot of fun. It's true.
I still can't. This all seems like it's just still part of the plot.
Yes, the
I can't comprehend it.
It is. It's a blown mill plot to take over Toronto slowly.
You didn't take.
It's like looking at a war.
I kept thinking this was such a beautiful chance.
Put too many hopes in one thing. It's like putting all your soldiers in one battle and then they all get slaughtered.
Isn't it great that the illusion of movie making is defeated by the illusion of newspaper making? And we all know that not one word of it was true, and yet we're acting as if it was. How about that? Hey.
We should go along with them and get all the kids in the village to demonstrate for us, because we have to.
That's a very bad idea, I think. Excuse me. I've got a... My orders are to pack and get out of town, so goodbye.
It sounds like the sheriff is giving it till sundown.
Okay, you too, Kathy. Roger, it's been a pleasure. Took care of yourself. It was very nice of you to Peter. Oh, is there? Bye, Jan. Oh, come on, honey. Come on. Come on, don't be foolish. Take it easy. Okay, it's been very nice. You too, Chris. Nice. Ken? Chris Kent? Who's Kid? Ken, Chris?
Chris Kent.
Still don't know.
Yeah, Chris Kent.
I'm David, he's John.
Will you be able to make a film out of it?
I don't know.